What's up, everyone? Welcome back to this episode of the Detailing Podcast. I'm Jimbo, your host, and today we're talking about consumer grade versus professional grade products, and does that even exist anymore? So I had an interesting conversation with someone the other day that talking about ceramic coatings, basically, ceramic coatings. And I proposed the question of, well, you know, if you had to pick between these two coatings, which one would you pick? Knowing that this person is financially incentivized on both ends. And their excuse or their answer was, well, I can't pick because one is a professional grade and one is a consumer grade. Fair enough, or not fair enough. I think it's funny because it's like, well, just because something calls itself professional grade, is it really professional grade? And then if something calls itself consumer grade, or better yet, is just available to be purchased by anyone, does that make it an inferior product to a quote unquote professional grade one? And the answer is obviously no, especially in 2023 or 2024, which we're going into. This idea of like a professional grade product versus a consumer grade product is virtually gone. We have access, other than some fringe coating companies specifically that are trying to keep these territories alive or this exclusivity alive for their brand, which we will definitely see go away because no one cares enough. And we're seeing the rise of these quote unquote consumer grade coatings that are actually outperforming professional grade coatings. It really doesn't matter. And I've been barking up that tree forever of like, don't ever tie if you're a professional detailer running a business, never tie your personal brand to a coating brand. These coating brands do not care about you. Like, they will drop you immediately. Sure, have the banner, have the neon sign, whatever, but never have it above your personal detailing brand name. Never hold on to their warranty claims as being the ultimate, end all be all, because what I've seen happen in the past is people think it is, and then they're extremely let down when that warranty claim doesn't hold out. When that ceramic coating brand doesn't care about your warranty claim. Sure, you could put it on the Carfax, but that's just submitting it. That's just paying a fee. So we have to be careful with that. And that's why we've seen the rise of these consumer marketed, I should say, not necessarily consumer grade ceramic coating products that are actually outperforming professional grade products, because the consumer market, the prosumer market, is a much bigger market than the detailing professional market is. And so back in the day, if we just rewind to even when I started in 2008, the consumer grade products market was O'Reilly's and Pep Boys and AutoZone and Walmart. It still is to some extent, but we've seen a rise in quality of that type of product. And the reason why we've seen a rise in the quality of that type of product that is readily available is because all products have become readily available. And ceramic coating companies have done this stupidly, I think, of saying that their ceramic coating is exclusive to professional installers only. And then we see your favorite YouTuber installing it, and he's not a professional at all and never even run a detailing business. And so and then people get pissed of like, well, why is he installing it? I thought there was exclusivity and blah, blah, blah. It gets weird really quick. And so the question was funny to me that I asked, and the answer was even funnier, because there is no difference between professional and consumer grades for most products. What there is a big difference in, is consumer versus professional marketing. And that's the difference. So the big difference is the marketing lingo, the marketing spin on the products, and what those brands are trying to accomplish. So traditionally, and even back into my day, a consumer grade product would be an inferior product to a professional grade product. But the professional grade product would have more exclusivity or be harder to get. If you think about if I think about when I got started back in 2008, which is a whole different market than it is now, you kind of had to know someone to go somewhere to do something. And there was for me, I went to Coates Products in an area close to me, and that's where I could get professional grade products. But as we've seen the rise of the internet and then the information age and YouTube and all these areas of where we can get just a mass amount of information, we've seen the competition for these products rise as well. And so what that's done is it's kind of elevated all of the products higher. Because why would you pick an inferior product to a better product if that better product was just as easy to get? You wouldn't. Of course you wouldn't. Why would you spend more money on a worse product when you could spend less money on a better product? You wouldn't. I mean, that'd be crazy. So my benefit of actually running a detailing business for so long, since 2008, and then beyond that, getting products from Coates Products, a brand local to me. They used to make their own products, and they bring in some products, and they work with not all the main blenders, but they work with a lot of blenders. And more importantly, they service car dealerships and car washes. And so their approach is to have products that are extremely effective and efficient, both in price and quality and doing the job. And so I got that tidbit of information for Coates from this longtime detailer that was retiring and getting out of the game when I first got started. And back in 2008, Coates Products, professional grade, he never called them that, but, buying in bulk, I guess, were so much better than what you can get at the shelves at a retail store, at Pep Boys, at Walmart, if you will. But since 2008, we've seen the rise of other product brands that are trying to take market share. We've seen the rise of Amazon brands. We've seen the rise of, Facebook brands, if you will. And as each one of these companies enter the market, they're trying to wiggle their way in to figure out what makes them different. And so a big part of what will make them different is having a liquid in the bottle that will stand out, or a technology play. We see that constantly of I laughed at this with Meguiar's, but their disappearing technology. They didn't call it that, I did, but that's an example of what brands will do, of try to coin a technology name and put it in their product. And then they own that technology name. And they'll claim that that technology name is superior to other products in the market, which make their product better, which is why you should buy their product. But as we saw way back in the day, even with Meguiar's, when they first started out, on their bottles, it said for professional use only. It doesn't say that on their bottles anymore. Maybe some of their professional line, but do they ever promote their professional line on any social media? No, they're always promoting these consumer lines or consumer grade or consumer marketed products. And the reason why they do that is the consumer market is much bigger than the professional market, and the consumer products, not just with Meguiar's, but with all these brands, these consumer grade products are equal to, in quality, what you would do as a professional grade product. And in fact, when these bigger brands have tried to release a professional grade line, it flops pretty much every time, because it just doesn't resonate with the market. It just doesn't resonate with people. And it's kind of dumb, because either consumers don't qualify themselves as professionals, or professionals think that the consumer is just as good, so they feel like they're maybe getting ripped off. It just doesn't work to call it a professional grade as it used to. So that's what was funny to me, to ask this person, well, what's the difference between a consumer grade coating and a professional grade? And they didn't know. It's like, well, obviously you don't know. And that's why it's funny, because there is no difference other than this exclusivity. But this exclusivity is just a made up thing. We give you a territory, or you have to buy it through our portal or whatever. But what we've seen time and time again is the C Quartz UK 3.0 that you can get on Amazon for $80 is just as good, arguably better, than some of these even professional grade coatings that you spend $350 on. It's crazy. So and now as we get further on, and for me, as I look at launching my own product brand and, really asking myself that hard question of if I bring a brand to the market, which I never wanted to do, and the only reason why I'm doing it is because I'm so frustrated that these brands that have the ability to make products better don't, which is crazy to me. I had a long discussion with someone else about this the other day of how brands wait for someone else to release it and then they just copycat, which to me is kind of an excuse of one, you actually don't have the technology, or you don't have the marketing spin on it. Why would you wait when you could be the first? That's wild. Anyway, so I never wanted to create my own brand, because you need to be able to answer the hardest question that everyone asks, is that what makes you different? And so when professional grade products have had to answer this question, they answer it in ways like this. Well, we give you exclusivity, or, not everyone can buy this product. Think about Ceramic Pro, Opticoat Pro, G-Technic, Crystal Serum Ultra, but you can buy the Crystal Serum Light. What makes them different is they offer exclusivity, which is just doesn't do anything. It really doesn't. And that's why I can prove that it doesn't work, because it goes away, or they shrink that exclusivity. And you may have owned a 30-mile radius and now you own a 15-mile radius, and then it's a 5-mile radius, and then it just kind of just fizzles away. And so moving forward, what has been frustrating me is that there are better products. The ceramic coating technology that we're seeing today was available 5 years ago. For whatever reason, brands either didn't have the access to it, didn't know the people. I don't know what the reason is, but they didn't bring it out until 5 years later. And so what has driven me and what my differentiator is that I feel like I've seen enough behind the scenes stuff, and I've seen enough in front of the scenes stuff, that the things that we've accepted that products just are actually don't have to be that way. So we've just accepted the fact that ceramic coatings are difficult to install, or temperamental depending on environment, or exclusive, or have to be $300 a bottle. We've accepted that. We've accepted that an iron remover has to turn purple. We've accepted that a car wash soap is going to be neutral and not clean. We've accepted all these things, and me on the back end, having consulted with global brands for 5 years, have worked directly with blenders for coming up on 8 years. I've seen the shortcomings of each blender as well, and been like, okay, when I worked for this blender, they were really good at soaps, wax, degreasers. What they weren't good with was ceramics. Had conversations with Bob at P&S, and he's like, our core business is, having the truck out on the road and servicing car washes and dealerships and all that, similar to Coates products down here. And the Rennie Doyle collection and all that is great. He goes, honestly, we're okay at, but we're not great at, is ceramics. And that to me is the best possible thing that P&S could do, honestly, is to be honest. Which is another thing that so many brands don't do, so many YouTubers don't do. They're not honest. They're not honest with it. They're not honest about their product. Even when they're telling you directly to the camera or to your face that they're being honest, they're not being honest. And so I don't know why that drives me nuts so bad, of like, one, we don't have to accept the way things are. And two, look, everyone knows what products suck. And no one knows it more than the person that got swooned by a YouTuber, or swooned by the guy talking at the booth at SEMA about the product, telling it how it is, or swooned by the retailer trying to pump it only to realize that the product sucks. I mean, no one knows more than that person. And I think that's what aggravates me the most, is that I've been that person way too many times. Believe in the lie, believing that this product is the end all be all. And then you try it and it's not really that good. Like, that kind of sucks. Or seeing how about this one? Seeing a customer call me and talk about how their ceramic coating they think is failing or not holding up to the claims that it's actually warranted for. I got that call out of the blue way back in the day. Ceramic Pro installer installed a coating. The customer was pissed because they started to see some spider webbing in it, and they thought, well, shoot, I have a lifetime warranty on this coating. I'll just create a warranty claim. Real smart guy, super wealthy. It was on I think it was Aston Martin, brand new Aston Martin. The guy paid a lot for it. And he goes to the installer, and the installer says, no, you got to file a warranty claim with corporate. Corporate starts giving the guy the runaround. The guy finds me, because I'd been doing some SEO work, finds me. I go out and inspect the car, and I'm like, well, yeah, there's definitely spider webbing, on the car. And so he goes, hey, can you talk to the headquarters people and tell them? Sure. So I get headquarters on the phone, and they say, hey, Jimbo, can you tell us if the spider webbing is underneath the coating or in the coating? Underneath the coating or in the coating? Really? I said, well, can you tell me how I could tell that? Well, you could see it. Really? Okay. They're in the coating. Wow, that's a problem. They would not honor the warranty. And then the shop that installed it would not honor the warranty. All that shop had to do is a quick one step and recoat, and they're done. Easy. That customer would have gone away. No, they fight it. Corporate fights it. They don't care. Goes to small claims court. They lose. They all lost except for the client, who got his money back for the whole amount of the coating. Done. Forget what I was talking about with that. So anyway, this gap between consumer grade, so that frustrates me. Stuff like that frustrates me, and it doesn't have to be that way. And so my differentiator of what I want to do is I don't want to launch a full line of products. I think that's dumb and very redundant. But how about products that just work and then do multiple things? Do multiple things with one product. You could dilute them differently. Maybe you could buy them in a gallon concentrate if you're a pro, or you could buy them ready to use if you're kind of a DIYer and don't go through it. But these brands that have 30 products that are coming out with ceramic window cleaners when there's already a great one in a Rain-X for super cheap. Like, are you not looking at the market? That's crazy to me. Why would you do that? And that's why we think that the market is oversaturated, but it's not actually oversaturated. It's oversaturated with products that all look the same. And none of them look different because none of these brands know what they're doing, basically, is like the simple terms of doing that. And so it's not a difference of technology. Sometimes it is a difference of technology, but most times it's a difference of marketing. So they say that's a professional grade coating. And then what happens is we get all confused because Cerakote will launch a professional grade coating at a consumer grade ability. And so that's when it starts getting tricky and confusing. And then when we're confused, we feel like things are oversaturated because we don't know what to pick. Because I don't get it. Ceramic coatings used to be exclusive and you couldn't get it unless you were a professional. But now this brand is releasing a quote unquote professional product. It's so easy a consumer can install it. Is that professional because they said it is, or is it consumer because it's easy to use? I don't know. I'm confused. I don't know what to do. And then confusion leads to nothingness. And so what makes a professional grade product? Is it its durability? Is it whatever? Who knows? It is in the eye of the beholder. And so all that to say, there really is no difference, and there's even less of a difference between professional grade and consumer grade products. And I'm open for a discussion on this, obviously, but I don't see it. I think it is a difference between professional grade and consumer grade marketing. That's what I think. So don't be swooned. Don't be fooled by that. It is brands trying to brand themselves differently and separate in the market, and they're trying to compensate for their lack of something else is what happens. And so, I mean, there's plenty of examples of this, like Surf City Garage, which is a brand, I don't even think they're around anymore, but they had some retail market share. They came out with a consumer grade line and a professional grade line. And then it's like, they don't have any sales because what do I pick? Well, I'm not a professional, so I'm worried to grab that one, but I want something better than a consumer grade. So I don't know if I should, is that just water in a bottle? So I'm just going to go with a different brand. Does Griot's Garage have a professional line and a consumer line? No, they have their Griot's Garage. Turtle Wax just tried their professional line and it doesn't really work. But their Seal and Shine worked. Their Ice Spray Wax really works. They have a lot of products that would be quote unquote consumer grade that work. Why don't they call those professional grade? It adds confusion. People are confused. And the professional detailing market, I hate to break it to us as professional detailers, is so small compared to the consumer market. That's really dumb to go after the professional market because things will level up. Pros will talk about Seal and Shine and Ice Spray Wax and those that are better. They will grab those and talk about them. So don't buy into this. Don't be swooned by this, idea that, you can just, it's just marketing. It's just marketing, which is so frustrating and so hard to wiggle through the marketing, even as someone like myself who talks to people behind the scenes, obviously the Bob Phillips of the world, the whatever, the people that have brands, whether they make those products or they're getting them made by big manufacturers that no one mentions. Everyone mentions B&B blending, B&B blending, B&B blending. And they always mention that because they don't know any of the other blenders. They would mention the other blenders if they knew the other blenders, but they don't know the other blenders. So they don't mention them because they don't know. And so anyway, like I said, I never wanted to create my own product line, but I have some really special products, and it was very interesting to me and has been very interesting to me to see these ceramic coatings be launched that, ease of use, slickness, durability, yawn. It's all the same claims. But then to realize, like, holy crap, like I had access to that stuff 5 years ago, at least, maybe 6. Like, that's crazy. Why am I not throwing my hat in the ring and then showing people how it could actually be done? Because no one's doing that. Hey, you could have a product that does this and that. Or you can have a product that does this and doesn't do that, because there's always a give and a take. So Pan released a video recently and he talks about how, he talked to a chemist and it's very easy to add in durability. It's very easy. It's no big deal to add in durability to a product. It's very simple to do, which is maybe true on the surface level of, sure, you could add in durability, but what he failed to talk about and failed to mention is that when you do that, you give durability, you have to take away something else. So sure, on the onset, very easy to, just throw in durability. But if you compare it to the example of like making brownies, it's like, sure, you can make brownies saltier. You can make brownies sweeter. You can make brownies runnier in the middle. You can make them crispier. But what you give something and you have to take something away. So in terms of let's use Seal and Shine as a perfect example. So Seal and Shine does great in a torture test, but for giving the durability, what are you taking away? You're taking away that ease of use. So though, sure, on the onset, you could just throw whatever in a product, though it's not that simple, you could throw it in, you take away something else. So though you could throw in a bunch of durability, you lose the ease of use every single time. So it's that balance of like, this is durable, but it's easy to use. That's why you see a lot of products that are easy to use aren't durable. And so, and the biggest lie now is slickness of coatings. It's like the slicker the coating, and I'll talk about this eventually, but the slicker the coating, I usually have found that the less durable it is. So I like to add slickness in my toppers versus the foundational layer itself. Also, layering coatings is another gimmick. Like, if it's repelling, isn't it starting to repel itself? It's crazy. So anyway, all that to say, I never wanted to have my own product brand, but because I'm so tired of the marketing and the lies and the deceit that goes on in this industry, I feel like there's an opportunity to change that in a dramatic fashion. And I kind of keep coming back to the thing of like, I'll show you how I think it should be done, which is a problem I always have of like, trying to show how it's done. So anyway, I plan on doing that in 2024, launching with, and really just having a core line of products that just perform. So I'm not really interested in having a ton of products for no reason. I'm not really interested in trying to compete with the Rain-X's of the world with the, ceramic glass cleaner. I think Rain-X already has a perfect one. And I think honesty, transparency, and truth is something that is lacking from the detailing industry. And it's also been very frustrating to see brands put pressure on other people to, if they put out content that isn't aligned with that brand, they will try to strong arm people to remove that content. And so I just think that's not what I would like to see out of the detailing industry. And it's also interesting to me that these brands purposefully stagnate the detailing industry. And so I think it's time for a big shakeup, and I'm going to spearhead that shakeup, at least in my own mind, and show you guys and the world of like, hey, this is how good products could be. Like, this is how good a detailing product could be. It is insane to me how many back-end meetings, calls I've been on where brands are trying to make a product less effective so that they could make a little bit more money. And it's so unnecessary. I've lost private label clients over this, over 25 cents. Insane to me. So they can make 25 cents more on a product that they're already making like 400% margin. And I'm all for people making money. I'm all for brands making money. But my problem is that when you claim to be the best, and then I know that you're doing things to make it not the best on purpose, that stagnates the industry. And I think the detailing industry has been in this place of stagnation for so long, and we're seeing it again, where it like went to the mountaintop with ceramics, and then everyone was just copying each other, and then they tried graphene, and we're kind of seeing this like downward back degradation of the industry, and we don't have the IDA pushing the industry forward like they claim. We have very few brands trying to push the industry forward, and then what happens with those smaller brands that are trying to push the industry forward is they get squashed by bigger brands that have more money, or they get ripped off or whatever. But I think we saw it at SEMA. It's like Meguiar's launching Solo again, and this wipe-on ceramic coating, and other brands not even being there. And we're kind of in this fluctuating place of no one knows how to move this industry forward. And so I think I have an idea of how we can maybe not progress light years ahead, but how we can move it forward. And really, more than anything, I just want to show you guys, the consumers, the prosumers, the people that love cleaning and washing their car, of how good you can actually have products. For people that actually are in the know, how good you can have products, how good they actually could be. And I think that's going to be my differentiator of my brand, is we don't have a million products. It's not confusing. If we have a spray wax that works, let me tell you why it works. And let me tell you why it sucks. Let me tell you, hey, this spray wax is not durable. Like, if this is in a torture test, it's not going to do good. And so I'm not launching with spray wax. I'm launching with one specific product I'm not ready to talk about, but I will be launching with one product. I think it's a total unicorn of a product that I'm really, really excited about. And so subscribe so you can get first alerted of that, but it's really going to be different. I think in a very saturated market, like the detailing product industry market, you have to be very innovative. You have to be very calculated. You have to be very diligent and smart about, if you launch a product, why are you launching that? And can you tell the story behind why you did? And I think I can with at least a few products. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm going to bring you on alongside this journey as well to prove out the claims that I've made of like, hey, there really isn't a difference between pro and consumer products anymore. There really isn't. But I don't just want to be a headline talker. Like, you can just throw in durability. Like, you can. Yes, that's true. However, what happens when you do that? Does it mess with the color? Does it make the product separate? Does it make it not work? I think if you go back and look at my colored foam soap video, I kind of start to hint at things like that of like, hey, does a pink soap work differently than a blue soap, even though theoretically or in the lab, they're the same? But sometimes that colorant will change how the product works. And so, yes, on the surface, you can throw in as much durability as you want, but just like claiming that you have 14% SiO2 in your product, that doesn't really make sense, because if you did, something else would have to give, and products don't always work like that together. So though you could have a gooier brownie, though you could have a runnier brownie, though you could have a sweeter brownie, that comes at the expense of something else. So there's that. There's also a difference between a Ghirardelli brownie and like a Kroger brownie. So there's that too, which never gets talked about, is the quality of the raw materials in these products. Everyone just claims that they make it when they actually don't, but that's a whole nother story for another day. So I hope you guys enjoyed that one, and just don't be fooled. I guess that's what I really want to bring to light, because ultimately what I hate is the thought of, I don't know what I don't know. And that really frustrates me. And so I do know a lot in this space. And so I try to and hope to bring to light some of these things and issues that other people talk about that are either not issues, or just show like how I think it could be done. And so I hope to do that a little bit better and really just talk about what I'm working on in my day-to-day life. So don't be swooned by all this crap. Just, if you like a product, use it. If you like a creator, use their product. Don't worry about where it's made. Don't worry about what it is. If you like a creator, if you like Larry at Ammo, support him by buying his products. And that's coming from someone who, like, I'm indifferent to Larry, I guess now, but like, there's some things that I definitely don't agree with that he does. I will say though, if you like him and you enjoy his videos, the best thing you could do for him is to buy his products. If you love Matt Mormon, the best thing you could do is buy from Obsessed Garage. If you love Cerakote, the best thing you could do is buy Cerakote products. And that's how you could support that person. If you love Jeremy and you love Shine Supply and you love what they do, don't worry about, does Jeremy make it himself? Does he not? Are his raw materials good? Just support him. That's the best thing you could do, is support him. Because if you enjoy him and you want him to continue to produce content, support him. So what I am focusing and trying to do is just create my own lane and say, hey, look, this is how it could be done. And maybe it'll resonate, maybe it won't, but I want to bring people along the journey, because my favorite thing to do is to create content with things that are in front of me, not to make up lies, not to make up things, not to do any of that. And so anyway, with that, hope you guys enjoyed that one. I know I blabbled for a long time, but I will catch you guys on the next one. See you.